Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Higher Source Tarot for your April 2020 tarot check for all Scorpio Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So it's April 2020 here. And I just want to start off by thanking all of you who have been subscribers, have been liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. I really appreciate your support. And I am going to continue to co-create with you. So thanks for sharing your energy with me too. And if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you as a subscriber. And if you want to, hit the bell and you'll be notified when new videos are posted, which is about every week. So here we go for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for April 2020. So I hope everyone is doing well. I know it's been a tough time and it's such an ever-changing message that we keep getting. All right, Scorpio. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. But, you know, we just continue, don't we? So your present position is the Ten of Cups, and the immediate influence is the Two of Pentacles. The destiny is the Six of Swords here. In the more distant past, you do have the Queen of Wands. The more recent past, Temperance. The energy coming towards you is the Star. Not sure if you got an Aquarius in your life. You're represented by the Two of Swords here. They're represented by the Six of Cups. You've got the Magician as your hopes and desires, and the Page of Wands as the outcome. In the bottom of the deck, you have, I'm going to take these two for you. You have the Judgment and the Sun. So a very powerful reading for you guys this month. Let's talk a little bit about what is represented here. You've got Leo. You have Aquarius, you have Sagittarius, you have all the elements here. And yeah, you know, I think right off the bat, if things have been rocky for you, they are definitely getting better. I also think, too, you do have an ex who's interested in coming back. You have a return of an ex here. Not sure if you're interested in that, but you do. But in general, love is going to be taking a nice turn. It really is. And it's a long-term commitment. So, you know, you want to get that Ten of Cups happy ending. And the Ten of Cups is happiness for everyone. It's a very subjective card, so it's kind of whatever your focus is on right now is driving you. There's almost an urgency behind it, getting to that. I do think that you've had some indecision around you. And, you know, with the Two of Pentacles here, I don't know if I accidentally said Two of Cups. I hope not. But it's the Two of Pentacles. And this is like analysis paralysis. And it makes a lot of sense with the time that we're in. We are in a global dark night of the soul. And the good news is we are going to transcend and ascend because of this. So, you know, that's part of the dark night of the soul. And sometimes people don't always understand it. They think, I went through a divorce. That was the dark night of the soul. That is not the dark night of the soul. Even depression and anxiety are not. It is truly, you know, on a soul level, take me down deep and let me release this. And we've been in a very oppressive global energy. We've been under that, and we're going to come out of it. So, and that's your heart's desire too. But you do have a couple people around you that are very indecisive, and I think they're quite anxious, and it's probably, excuse us, but driving you batshit crazy. It's like, I cannot deal with this indecisive person who is like full of anxiety and almost panic attacks around me right now. It's not easy for all of us. You know, here's the thing. This is tough, but so are you. So, you know, it's not really going to shake you to the core as much as I think it is some of the people around you. Now, your destiny here, and just to clarify with destiny, I don't talk about this a lot. There's a real difference between destiny and fate. Destiny is divinely guided, and it does incorporate free will because you're getting inspiration. You're getting intuitive nudges that you follow the hunch, you follow the inclination, whereas fate is all fear-based. It's like predetermined. I've got no control over it. That's my fate. Oh God, what did I do in a past life to deserve that? This is not the same. So your destiny in this is about moving on. I think it's really about freedom, honestly. I think it's all about freedom from bondage on a soul level and on the material plane too. I think it's in both ways, and this will be a transformative period for you, Scorpio. And two, even though it's an air card, there is quite a bit of water represented in this card. And, I think that it represents you and wanting to move to smoother ground, be around people who are stable. I think you did have somebody in your past. This may have been a boss too, where they definitely were a queen. They kind of this is in terms of being a queen, this is a very inspirational person. Don't get me wrong, but I do pick up a little bit of an energy where they like to give direction and have it their way. And it was like the kind of person where if you wanted your voice to be heard, you almost had to make them think it was their idea or allow them to present it as their idea. That's the energy I'm picking up on, at least. And that was in the more distant past. But I think some things happened. And in the more recent past, there was definitely a lot more of kind of go with the flow. We need to make some changes here. This, again, is Sagittarius energy. And, Temperance is definitely a card of embracing change, but it's also a major healing card. So some of you within the last couple of months may have really been working on healing a resentment towards somebody. And really recognizing, I think the best amends that we can get is where somebody can look at you, and this rarely happens, where they can look at you and say, I consciously hurt you. I could have made another choice and I didn't. I made a choice that I knew on some level would hurt you. And for that, I do owe you an apology. My soul sinned against your soul. And that is ultimately what it is when we choose to hurt somebody for, because I think we all do this. And I'm hearing this where somebody went, what in the world did I do to deserve that? You didn't do anything to deserve it. And I think that's where we get so hung up. We're always looking for a rational response in what is sometimes a somewhat irrational place when we're dealing with other human beings. So, I very much am inclined to follow the law of attraction. It is a universal law. And I think sometimes it's not as much as what we deserve as it's what we're afraid of. We pull into us what we're afraid of because we focus on it. And I think it was something along those lines, and you had to heal from that. You definitely had a period of needing to get over something. And here you go. Here's more healing. You've got healing, back-to-back healing cards here. And that's where I think this brings in somewhat of a dilemma with an ex. This is Aquarius energy. Again, it's all about rejuvenation and renewal. And she's free, right? She's completely unclothed. I had in one reading the world and the star together, which again, they're the two nudes of the tarot. But again, she's very free. She's the goddess of truth. You are going to be getting some truth coming sooner than later. And it's a time for you to experience, I think, patience and calmness in what's been a very tumultuous situation. Some of you may work in the travel industry and it's been chaotic for you. There's been indecision and people that are angry if you're in customer service and dealing on that end and getting, these just irate calls and just having to listen to people and not really say much. So you're going to be headed for a time of great appreciation, renewal. Again, there's somebody that wants to come back around. This whole pandemic, this apocalyptic time has really brought them some clarity. But the main thing is getting the truth, having them live in the truth. And if they can do that, there's a match there, no doubt about it. But there's some uncertainty on your part. So you've got the Two of Pentacles, and you've also got the Two of Swords here. So you have two cards that are based in indecision. I think for you, the part of it with this relationship is they've been unstable. That's the best word I can think of, where they've had kind of a push-pull dynamic where they've really been great and then they've really been shocking and unpredictable and not great. And that part of you goes, don't show me this again. I have no interest in it. And that's where you're very guarded. You're very guarded around your heart. You're also guarded around your money too. And not wanting to see instability in that arena of your life because you're self-sufficient. You've had a job that's been certainly paying the bills. And I think too, it's a time for you to exercise some more creative avenues. I think that's also coming forward, where you're going to be kind of getting out of the daily grind and expanding into some kind of a side avenue, whether it's editing or copyright or something like that, where it's almost like something like on Upwork or Fiverr, where you're going to add some kind of a side deal, or even maybe graphic design for some of you that are good with a computer. But I think there's some part of you that wants to be released from that. So here's this person, and boy, are they thinking about you. This is all about a sentimental longing. It's all about nostalgia. This person, like I said, could be very immature at times, but they could also be really fun and loving and caring. And there is a depth. There really is a depth to them, even though there's some immaturity over it. It's like there's layers to this cake. And, you know, how far do you want to go, Scorpio? I guess it's up to you. But your hopes here are the Magician. You are going to stand in your power, but this relationship has all the elements. The money will be stable. The, passion will be there. The love will be there. The attraction will be there. And the communication this time around. If you go back to that, the communication will be much better. And also you will be getting communication. It's definitely coming forward here very strongly. I also think too, for some of you where there's some work issues, the communication there is going to be clear. Where somebody was indecisive and somewhat stressed out, they're going to have more insight and be able to deliver much clearer direction. I also think there's some restructuring going on there. There's going to be some restructuring for those of you where, like I said, are in some kind of customer service or something like that. So your outcome here, you have the Page of Wands, but then I pulled these as clarifiers from the bottom of the deck. Now, the Page of Wands is definitely about bringing inspiration, and that's where I feel like the break that you've had, the breakup, has been a time that was needed. You were not a vibrational match, but I do feel like this person's been manifesting you, and they have wanted to see a reunion with you. And so they come back in their very best form. They come back, he's all dressed up and he looks good, and he's, he's bringing this wand, and it's sort of like you wave the wand and anything can happen, right? It's how we make wishes come true. But there's definitely potential for long-term happiness, success, and commitment here. But there's a decision, Scorpio. There's a decision that needs to be made, and that decision is going to be on your terms. And so it's time for you, if you haven't been, really getting clear about what you want to bring in your life. And if it's not this person, that's okay too, because you have enough cards here in terms of bringing towards you that long-lasting love, if that's what you want. I know somebody that made a vision board and put up a picture of George Clooney on it. And now the person, I don't think their husband looks like George Clooney personally, but they do. They're like, oh, doesn't he look just like him? And in their mind, that's their George Clooney. So that was their 10 of Cups. So, that's the great thing about the universe. It always brings enough for everyone. You can have, do, or be anything. And so not everybody wants the same person. So one person, sees this, guy that I don't find, it's not my cup of tea, but she looks at him and says he looks just like George Clooney and he's great. So that's her 10 of Cups. So decide that. Get very, very clear, because the universe will bring you what you ask for. And sometimes we get a mix because we're a mix. So this is an Abraham Hicks asking in his given card. An empty feeling is telling me something important. A negative feeling indicates that your current choice of thoughts is so out of harmony with your source energy that you are disallowing your full connection to that energy stream. You could say that your fuel tank is approaching empty. Your emotions do not create, but they do indicate what you are currently attracting. So our emotions are our vibrational indicator. So if you have not been aware of that, if you don't feel good, you are attracting things that you are not going to enjoy very much. So this is your Whispers of Love card. I love you. These are powerful words. So if in the next, 30 days here, somebody comes forward and says, I love you, this reading was meant for you. And I'm going to tell you, I also love you, but I'm not talking about when I say it. I mean someone other than me. But I do love you so much, Scorpio, and I will be back in about a week.